Hey, I'm Andy. We're here with Erin. So we're going to talk a little bit about the JFK 50 mile because we did talk before we came on today. I wanted to make sure I called it the right thing. I've heard it called different things, but the JFK 50 mile, it's a local race. Starts in Boonesboro, right? I
Yep.
believe, and ends in Williamsport in front of Springfield.
Yep.
50-mile run, obviously, hence the name. And so the first question I want to ask is, well, I was going to ask you what got you into running, but why did you get into running? We'll ask that question.
So I think really I'll start with the what. Like what got me in the running? Honestly, volleyball. Like I was told high school if we could not run a 10-minute mile, we're not conditioned enough like to play on the court.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where my running began. And I just felt so good after running and I was like I really like running. Like I would just go on runs like at random points. Like I had to be conditioned for like volleyball camps and volleyball clinics, like, and running was my way to go. So I would run like all the time. I would run for conditioning. I would run like on my free time, like whenever I could. Um, why did I run? Because I wanted to play volleyball and be on the court. So that was really my why towards it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I then began running for Williamsport my senior year. And I fell in love with cross country. Like I did track my sophomore year and I did it my junior and I did it my senior, but cross country was really where the long distance was. And I just I love the running community. Like if you go out to a race or you go out anywhere where there's like runners competing, the atmosphere is just so amazing. Like it makes you happy, it makes you smile, like you're just like, wow, like all these people are rooting for you. They don't even know you, but they're rooting for you.
Yeah.
And I was like always the last one, of course. So you have people like clapping and still like there to watch you. So that was like that's really my why into getting running was like just volleyball. I wanted to be conditioned to play. Um, so yeah.
So I'm guessing by the passion that you have for running and how much you love it, this isn't your first time doing the JFK 50 mile?
This is my first time.
Oh, it is your first time.
It is
Okay.
my first. It is my
It doesn't
first,
seem
and
like it.
I'm very passionate about running. But
Good.
this
That's
is my
good.
first, and I'm not sure if it'll be my last. It probably will be, but we'll see. I've like listened to a lot of podcasts recently, and I
Hmm.
seem very hopeful. And some of my friends that said they were going to run it once, they were like, "Nope, we're running it again." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." So
So,
it's just a lot of training. Like it's a lot.
so what goes into the training to get ready for the JFK 50 mile? Are there certain like levels you do for so many weeks? When do you start? I mean, I guess it's a preference to who the runner is, correct?
I guess it is a preference. Like, there's probably people who have run more miles a week than what I have. Um, I actually have a coach. He was my assistant coach in high school for cross country. His name is Adam Lowe. He has Two Low Run Company.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, Two Low Run Company is what it's called. He is
Okay.
my coach, so he writes me my weekly plans. He'll like check in with me on Sundays and be like, "All right, what worked this week? Like, how are you feeling?" I'm like, "This is how I'm feeling." Sometimes I'll be like, "I feel like crap," or "I feel amazing. Can I go run more?" And he's like, "Sure." Or he's like, "Maybe just hold off." But it is a lot of training. So with the level wise, it just depends on the week. Like there's weeks I run 35 miles. There's weeks I run
Wow.
50. There's weeks I run like as low as 25. Like this is probably my lowest week because it's my taper week. But well, of course it won't be my taper week after Saturday. But really like I started training in August of 2023. I wanted to run the JFK last year. It was like one of my bucket list things. I texted my coach and I was like, "I'm interested in running. Can you be my coach?" And he was like, "Sure." Cuz he started like doing the coaching thing and I was like,
Mhm.
"Perfect." So, I told him I was like, "I really want to run it this year." So, I ran Fire on the Mountain, which is located in I don't know, somewhere near the Cumberland area. I don't know the exact name.
Okay.
But it's like all up mountain. Like it's all uphill, it's all up mountains, a trail race. She's like, let's see how you feel after that. I died. That was in November and I died. I couldn't walk for like the next 3 weeks. So I running the JFK was not in the books for me at that point. So
Mm,
I was like, all right. He's like, well, let's keep training. Let's see how things go. Well, I really hit my peak come summertime. This past summer. I started actually it was like March. I hit a PR of my 5 mile of like it's like 40 minutes or something, like 40-ish minutes, which is like pretty big deal for me.
mm.
And then I kept hitting PRs for my 5Ks. I hit a PR for a half marathon. Like I just kept hitting my peaks. Like um it was just a lot of training because I kept doing all the miles. Like Coach Lowe kept checking in with me, checking in what I need to do. I also strength train. So not only do I run like 5 to 6 times a week, I also strength train about 3 to 4, sometimes five.
Wow.
So having elite performance help me with that and build the strength has been a really crucial thing towards my training.
Very cool. I mean, you don't think about all that going into training for running, but it's cool to hear all the different aspects. So, what differs from you training, working up to the race and from the day before the race? Because you mentioned prepping before we talked today when we were sending messages back and forth. You said you're prepping tomorrow. What are you going to do tomorrow to get ready for Saturday?
Just mentally get ready. Like
Okay.
you have to be mentally prepared to run 50 miles. Like this is my first time running 50 miles. And I ended up like there it was September 7th. September 6th I took off work cuz I ran my first marathon September 7th. And I needed that mental break. Like it was a big game changer from having the entire day off of work. It was a big game changer how I walked into that race because I felt mentally prepared. I felt mentally ready. I was ready. Like I had nothing going. So just having like that mental aspect of being ready to run 50 miles and not having to work all day the day before. I also how I prep. I I use the boots, like the recovery boots at Elite Performance, which is just like compression boots. So they just like get your blood going, get it flowing.
Mm,
I
yeah.
try to foam roll. And the most important thing is making sure I have everything I need for JFK. So if I need to go to the grocery store and get a couple of things, or I need to go like buy something, just making sure and having that like sanity in my head that yes, I have everything on my checklist. Just having that and not stressing about it is like a really big thing on how I prep personally for just big races in general.
Yeah, I mean, checklists are a great way to mentally stabilize yourself. It helps out a lot. I mean, I use them every day myself. So it's cool to hear your aspect of the day before the race. I want to know though, what are you bringing to the race? Shoes are important for a runner. What kind of shoes are you wearing? You said socks actually make a difference too. Can you touch on that a little
Yes.
bit as well?
So the shoes I wear, there's like a portion on the JFK. It's the trail, and I have trail shoes, which are Scotty, and then I don't know what the brand is of the trail, and then my trail shoes, and then I have regular running shoes, which is still Scotty, but they are or Saucony. I call them Scotty. I don't know how you say the word. I just know it
I don't
starts
know either. Sounds right.
Scotty. It sounds, I mean, you would think as a runner I would know how to say it, but really I just buy them because they're comfortable. I use Scotty's Guide 16s is what I'm using currently, um, which they help. I have like pronation in my feet, so they help a lot with my feet not like getting inflamed and stuff and just
Mhm,
hurting. So I'll be racing in those on like the canal part.
mhm,
Socks wise, I actually like have been trying to figure out how not to get blisters on my feet. And
mm,
socks are really important. I really did not know that until just recently. So I just actually ordered some from recommendations of friends of mine. They said like Feature was a really good one.
okay.
And I also bought Scotty ones too, which are very similar to the Feature ones, like had the same exact things. So it's like moisturizing, moisture, wicked. I don't know. It's like it does something. It
Oh
makes
yeah.
sure like that your toes don't really get that many blisters, but I've also heard
Yeah.
like toe socks. Have you ever saw like toe socks? It's like it literally is the shape
Yeah.
of your foot. It's like a
Yeah.
glove.
Yeah. I've
I
seen that.
I
Yeah.
I saw that yesterday and I was like, this is brilliant. Rather than me taping, because I'm literally gonna tape my toes. Like that's what I'm doing. I'm taping my toes too Friday night because I do not want
Hmm.
blisters. So
Yeah.
I like went and like saw these socks things and I was like, I cannot do that. I haven't one, I have not practiced that like at all in any of my runs. So I'm not messing that up. But two, to
Yeah.
think like it's a glove that's on my foot, that's a little weird. Like I personally I don't think I would like that, but maybe I'll try it one day. But
I
we'll
mean,
see.
I mean, a sock is like a mitten for your foot.
Yeah, but that's like yeah, I get that. That's true. It is like a mitten. Like but I don't
Yeah.
want the finger gloves. I don't want that. So on my toes, on my fingers, it's fine, but on my toes, maybe not.
Pass.
I'll pass on that. I'll
So
take the
you
blisters.
right. You mentioned a part of the course that gets kind of rocky. I think it's the section. Is it the section that starts out at the Appalachian Trail area? I think they talk about rocky terrain. I looked up a little like information about the race. Do you run like cross country like I don't know like running routes to get ready for that? Do you go to certain areas and so you can make sure you're used to the terrain, or do you just straight up run and then you just tackle it when you get there?
It's different for every race, I guess. I'm a very big road runner. I do not like running on trails. I much
Mm.
rather just hike trails because I am very much so a cautious person who does not like to fall and does not like to get injured, and I will do anything in my ability and control to not do that.
Well, that's a good thing.
So it is, but I signed up for a race that potentially like I mean it's going to have a tough part, but that's
Yeah.
where I wanted to take a challenge. Like and so the trail is the most challenging part. The way I've prepped for it, I went on a run with my friend Kristen. We ran Weaverton Cliffs for one part. So like one weekend we ran Weaverton Cliffs. And
Mm.
then the second weekend we ran the other half of it. I don't know what the name of it was. Um, but you just kind of got to go with it. Like, I mean, I didn't fall on any of those practice runs, so
Mhm.
that was a bonus. You really have to watch your footing. Um, so I think like my biggest worry of the JFK is the trail. Like, I'm very nervous for the trail. I'm honestly nervous for the cutoff times. Like at the end, you have to make it by like 5 hours, I think, to get off the trail. And that is like my biggest worry. Like I'm very
Mm.
nervous about the trail. I practiced it. I ran Fire on the Mountain again this year when I said I wasn't ever going to do that again in my life. But I did. I did it again this year. And that one's actually, from what I was told, is a lot more challenging is what I guess it's a good word to use, is more challenging than what the trail is for the JFK.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm hoping that's true. I mean, I said that the trail for the JFK was worse than Fire on the Mountain, but I was told otherwise. So we'll see. I'm just kind of gonna go with it and smile and just keep going. Talk to runners and just enjoy the day. Like, just enjoy the journey. I mean, I'm not really there to win. Like, I'm your average runner.
Yeah.
I'm like, I do like to win. Well, I don't really ever win races, but I do like to compete. Like,
Mhm.
one thing I was told is someone told me they don't compete with others, they compete with themselves.
Mm.
And that's stuck with me because I'm like, if I can compete with myself, that means I'm getting better each time that I go out and run. So
Mhm.
that's like always my goal. I'm like, all right, this is my goal for the day. If I make it, I'm obvious like I'm competing with myself. I don't really care about anybody else around me. I care about myself and how I improved. And my goal is just to finish the 50 miles. Like that to me is competing with myself.
Yeah. So, is there an entry? Do you have to pay an entry fee to get into the race? I know there's cash prizes for certain places if you finish. So, is there an entry fee to get into the race?
There is an entry fee.
Okay.
It was I did it like very early because I knew I was gonna run it. And that's kind of what stuck me with continuing on my training. I signed up
Mm-hmm.
for it March 1st. It was $200. That's
Mm-hmm.
when like it's the cheapest. Is as soon as it comes out, you sign up if you want to do it, because it
Yeah.
just keeps getting more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I mean, honestly, I think every penny I paid is going to be worth it. Like from everything I'm hearing, it also supports the military. So that's something that is very dear to my heart. My grandfather served, my cousin's currently serving. I have a friend of mine who's serving. Like I have a lot of connections with the military, so it's very sentimental to me, and I'm very excited to be able to take on a military challenge, to be able to say like I did it.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know that it benefited the military. That's really cool. A lot of people hear $200 and they think, "What? Like, who would ever do that?" But not only does it benefit the military, but it probably goes into a lot of the like first aid equipment they can
Mhm.
provide you, like those stations, providing you all the the basic needs along the route and stuff like that. So a lot goes into it, like you said. And but I think the coolest part, definitely the military benefit.
Mhm.
I like that a lot. I didn't know that.
It's like
That's
a
really cool.
it's based on a military, and like I did a lot of research recently, so it's based on a military um challenge. So
Oh, okay.
I don't know like every single detail from it, but apparently I think it was whoever the officer in command was, I think it was JFK, but he like said that everybody needed to run this 50 miles on foot in 20 hours, like in order to be able to serve.
Hmm.
Um, and to be considered in shape, I guess is like how I can describe it. So
Hmm.
it was a military race. Like it only was specifically for military people. It was not, I don't think it
Oh.
necessarily was for like people like me who's not in the military, but I'm
Hmm.
not 100% on that. But I did like look like where donations and stuff can go to with the JFK, and it did say like it had a lot of military stuff just on
That's
it.
cool.
So
That's really awesome.
mhm.
Well, good luck to you on Saturday. Make sure I know you'll mentally prepare yourself plenty tomorrow. I would message you and wish you good luck tomorrow, but I don't want to break your focus. So I'll check in with you on Sunday if you didn't collapse afterwards when you
It didn't
finish.
die.
You won't die. You'll be all right. But I'll check in with you, and you can let me know how you did. I'm really excited for you, especially since it's your first time. I grew up like in a Hagerstown area, but I'm very familiar with this run. Like I said, I didn't know exactly what it's called, but I always heard about it. Going to school in Williamsport, a lot of the
Mhm.
runners would talk about it and they participate. But yeah, it's a big thing in the tri-state area. So happy for you, excited for you. Good luck, and yeah, definitely let us know how you do. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate
You're
it.